You're watching Talkin Ducks, built by Parr Lumber. Talkin Ducks is presented by Pacific Clear Vision Institute and Les Schwab Tire Centers. Well, welcome into another edition of Talkin Ducks. Oregon getting the win over Cal, but it wasn't too convincing. We'll break that down and ask if winning ugly is still good enough for this Oregon team. Plus, some boo birds coming out for Anthony Brown. We'll discuss whether or not those were justified. Ryan Walk with some harsh words for the Oregon faithful. And then we'll go around the Pac-12 where there is absolute chaos going on in the conference. Who knows who's going to win this thing? But let's go ahead and get to our Les Schwab opening drive, brought to you by Les Schwab Tire Centers, where they've been doing the right thing since 1952. And let me bring in the rest of the crew: Joey Harrington, Anthony Newman, and a man that never fogs up his glasses, Aaron Fentress. And guys, great to see you again. And Joey, I want to start with you on this because Oregon gets the win over Cal, a 1-4 Cal Bear team. This game comes down to the final possession. Oregon gets the W, but is it enough to be winning these games this closely? Because other than Stony Brook, Oregon hasn't had a very decisive, convincing win all season long.
Okay, cool. I'm going to go back to what you just said at the very beginning. Can you repeat the very first sentence you said to me?
Oregon got the win.
Boom. Stop.
Thank you.
Okay. Cool.
Show over.
So is there anything else we need to talk about today?
Yes.
Well, we got an hour to fill,
we
so
got to fill some time.
Look, wouldn't hurt us if we got to that.
It's a different situation, I know, but I go back to when we were playing, the 99, 2000, 2001. And I know it's completely different. Expectations are different. But how many games did we win in the fourth quarter, right? How many times did, we come back on a last-second drive and it's celebrated? Right?
But that was your fault in both directions.
That's true. But point is, and I'm very clearly stating, I understand expectations are different, and people expect to win when you're a preseason top whatever. But a win is a win. And at the end of the season, they don't say, well, you won 11 games, but you only won 11 games by, a touchdown each time. Now, that obviously actually did come back to bite us in getting into the BCS because we didn't win pretty enough. And it's not ignoring the fact that there are things they need to clean up in order to continue winning games. But winning games is winning games. And I know Anthony will take the good that came along with, Kayvon Thibodeau, especially that fourth down stop with Sewell and Verone McKinley. There were good things to take. They need to continue to improve if they are going to win the remainder of their games. But they did win this game, and that's all that counts. Here we go.
Aaron, is it still enough to be winning these games this way, though? Are you concerned about style points, or is it just a matter of surviving and advancing?
Well, as I've said on this show already, I've moved on past the whole playoff thing. That's not happening. So if we ignore that, then it comes down to just winning the North. And the bottom line is you got to win over a North team, while two other Northern teams lost, including Stanford, which you lost to a couple weeks ago. So, yes, that's all that matters right now is to try and win. This is not a dominant football team. So let's forget about them not winning by 30 or style points. Don't even think about that. A win's a win because they've been tough to come by. This was tougher than maybe it should have been. So I think you need to be happy with the win. One more thing. If I see one more Duck fan say something like, let's play Thompson over Brown because we don't care if we win, 8 games this year, what does it matter? Let's prepare for next year. No, that's never the way you approach this. You play to win the game. You try to win as many games as you can. The Ducks won, advance and move on, and prepare for the next game.
Anthony, I think the question comes down to this. They're winning the games, and it seems like no matter the competition, they're still getting these W's. Do you feel like Oregon's playing to their competition? Are you concerned about who they face? Or is this a football team that just finds ways to win regardless of the talent level that they're lining up against?
Well, I think sometimes we don't give the other teams credit. I mean, they're coached too. They got 4- and 5-star players also.
They lift weights too.
And they're on scholarship too, right, Newman?
They have training table too.
Exactly. They eat and then they go to sleep and they wake up and they do it again. So, they're a good football team. And, sometimes you see, throughout the game, and I've always talked about this, being consistent. Oregon's not consistent. But they do enough to win, and that's all that matters. When you're sitting here 5-1, what are you complaining about? You could be 1-5, and you can complain about a whole lot, but you're not. And it doesn't matter who you beat, okay? The schedule is the schedule. It is what it is. The team goes out in the field and you beat that team and you find a way to beat them if it's 56-3 or if it's 24-17 and win at the last minute. It doesn't matter. Find a way to win. In Oregon, they're finding a way to win these football games, and sometimes they play bad and sometimes they play good. But I'm happy with their performance. Yes, there's a lot. They're human. They're going to make mistakes. They're kids. They're going to make mistakes. Things going to happen that's not towards them that's going to really help them win the football game. But they find a way to overcome that, deal with adversity, bounce back. It's always about the next play, and finally win the game.
Jordan, let me jump in here, just kind of on what Aaron and Anthony both said. I think the disconnect is the majority of the general public, fans, Twitter, whatever form you want to use, don't understand the mentality of being part of a college football team in that locker room. And don't understand the idea that truly the only thing that they are thinking about right now is winning the next game. Coaching staff, what do I do to win the next game? Players, how do I prepare to win the next game? That's it. And when people are throwing out ideas about new quarterbacks or inconsistency on defense, like you said, Anthony, they're thinking about it through the perspective of the full season, right? Well, if we end up 11-1 and Ohio State ends up 11-1 and Michigan is 11-1 and there's two teams from the SEC, right? They're playing out these scenarios and saying, well, if in order to get to that point, we have to make these changes now. Players and coaches don't think about those things, because thinking about those things down the road means that somebody is going to come in and kick you in the teeth this weekend, and it's all going to be for naught anyway. So that's the disconnect, is people are putting this in context of this bigger picture that may happen in December, and they're ignoring what it takes to win now. And that's all anybody thinks about inside that locker room.
Can I get an amen?
Amen, preach, hallelujah. Go ahead and pass the serving plate around. All right, let's go ahead real quick and get to our top performer, brought to you by Parr Lumber. Parr Lumber, go where the builders go. And Aaron, really for the first time in a couple of seasons, we saw a lead feature back get the majority of the carries throughout the game, and that was Travis Dye. He had a sensational game. And I guess the question comes after seeing his performance against Cal, a team that defends the run somewhat well. Is he ready to be the feature back and get 20-plus carries per game rather than sharing the load so much like he has throughout his Oregon career?
Clearly, he was ready on Saturday. It was a phenomenal performance. I kept waiting to see more of some of the other backs, but they didn't want to play them for whatever reason. And Dye got the job done. I just worry, and that was a lot of touches. It was 27 touches, I think, counting the receptions. I just worry, and I think Newman talked about this last week as well. Can he do that week in and week out for the rest of the season? Remains to be seen. But, man, he was amazing. He pretty much carried the team on his back when you think about it, because the passing game was super inconsistent until late in the game. He kept the chains moving. He kept the position battle to where it helped Oregon's defense at times, because he was able to at least make some nice runs here and there. But, no, it was a phenomenal performance by him.
All right, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we will absolutely talk about Kayvon Thibodeau. We didn't forget about him, and we'll discuss why he changed the game so much in just the one half he played. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Talkin Ducks.
Parr Lumber is committed to providing the best customer service. We provide personal service. We're problem solvers. We're positive and courteous. We're competent and professional. We are committed to delivering exceptional service every time. We're appreciative and we care. We are Parr Lumber.
Sure glad we went to Les Schwab.
I'm glad the baby's still happy.
Well, I'm just glad that along with tires, Les Schwab also does brakes, alignment, and a bunch of other safety services. I mean, if we had gone to a cheap tire store instead, I'd be a doggone wreck.
My thoughts exactly.
Les Schwab Tires. Proud to be ranked #1 in overall customer satisfaction for aftermarket tire replacement by J.D. Power 2 years in a row.
Eugene Airport is a proud part of what makes Western Oregon such a unique place to be. With nonstop routes that connect to hundreds of destinations, fly local, fly EUG.
Being able to get LASIK gave me the opportunity to not worry about putting contacts in every day, and just kind of made my life a little easier. Pacific Clear Vision Institute was just incredible through my entire experience. The staff was very welcoming. Dr. Embody, he really just kind of laid it out and made me feel comfortable and gave me confidence to know that I was in good hands. I would definitely recommend Pacific Clear Vision Institute for any sort of laser eye surgery.
Sometimes leadership is scary. But so is regret.
You're watching Talkin Ducks, built by Parr Lumber. Welcome back. Let's check out our solid stop, brought to you by Milan Stoneworks, bringing you the finest stoneworks in the Northwest. 3 stops on the goal line, essentially, for Oregon to close out this game against Cal. And what did you see from the defense down the stretch? Because this was the opposite of what they were able to do against Stanford a couple of weeks ago. And if they replicate that, this is an undefeated football team, but they got it right in Autzen Stadium Friday night.
You asked me, what did I see on the defense? I saw number 5 on the defense. Number 5 creates havoc. And I'm telling you right now, guys, I haven't seen a football player like this that changes a football team, at least on the defensive side of the ball, ever. Number 5 is a beast. The guy gets off the ball so quick. He demands so much attention, and that's what he did. And you know, a lot of times it's not about sacks, getting to the quarterback. You know, but if you get to the quarterback and you take him off his spot and make him hurry up and throw the ball, it's a bad throw, like we saw in a couple of those clips. You know, the last stand was outstanding because Cal just helped Oregon by releasing all 5 receivers. So the running back wasn't in there to block. And then Oregon sends 6. Okay, so you're sending more than they can block. You know, it's called a wham blitz. You send 2 linebackers up the middle and bring the free safety up the middle. Chase had no time to throw the football. Great call. The defense played great the second half because of number 5.
Yeah, can I jump in on that? Like, I agree, Anthony. I don't know that I've seen a guy have this much of an impact and be this versatile in what he does. I mean, let's go through this. You know, I think it was back-to-back plays, goes around 74, the left tackle, speed rush, ducks under, and then launches for a sack on the quarterback. The next play goes bull rush and takes him straight to the ground, goes right through him. Then they move him into a 3 technique, and he pushes the protection from the guard position. Then he drops into coverage when they rush 3 and drop 8. And on that final play of the game, like you said, even when he's not making the play, he had contain, right? And so he drew the contain out on the left side there to allow Noah Sewell and Verone McKinley to come right up the gut and make the play. He seriously came in and changed the game. We saw it in the first half against Fresno State, and we haven't seen it since because of injuries and targeting, you know, having to miss time. This guy seriously changes the game more than anybody I have seen on, I mean, I'm not just going to say the defensive side of the ball, on either side of the ball. I mean, this is incredible what he's been able to do, and it's a shame, you know, that we haven't seen him and probably won't get to see him for an entire full season at this full strength.
Well, let's go ahead and get to that here by putting things into focus, brought to you by Pacific Clear Vision Institute, the official eye doctors and eye surgeons of the Oregon Ducks. And Aaron, let's keep the Kayvon Thibodeau conversation rolling here. I think so many fans are able to see how a quarterback can impact the game because of the number of times they touch the ball. But with Thibodeau, outside of the tackles and the sacks, there's just so many little things that if you have a keen football eye, you'll notice that, to Joey's point, this is one of the most disruptive players we've ever seen wear an Oregon uniform.
And he's also such a vibrant personality and leader that when he's out there, I feel like you can tell that the defense just has a different vibe about it, right? Because they know they've got this guy out there who's so dynamic, not only as a player, but as a person. And I just couldn't believe that Cal did not devote a back or a tight end to help whenever Kayvon was lined up on the edge. Like, if he's inside, you're not going to do that. But I was just like, why are you not like quadruple teaming that guy? Just in the huddle, say everyone block Kayvon on 1, and then just go whatever play you want to. They refused to do it. And then think about that last drive with him being disruptive. it allows the secondary to know there's not going to be much time. And I thought the DBs did a great job of remaining disciplined in their coverage. They did not give up anything big, no big chunk plays. They made Cal have to earn it. And Cal did a great job. I mean, they grinded it out. That flip pass on 4th down was phenomenal. But then on that last play, bringing the house, giving Kayvon some more help on that situation. And Cal had no clue. Like, Joey, you tell me, how do you go into a situation like that and not have at least a couple hot reads? Like, you got to have some hot dudes. No receiver was looking right away for the ball. It was kind of bizarre from my perspective, but Kayvon ignited that entire defensive sequence with his disruption of Cal's offense.
Well, that's the whole point, Aaron, is that you can't, on most guys, if they're a dominant defensive end rusher, right, they're going to line up at D end. And so what you say is, I'm going to put a tight end there, or I'm going to send my back to Chip to help the tackle on the way out. But he's not only lining up at D end, right? Anthony, you said it during the game. He moved into the 3 technique. Okay, how are you going to send a running back to help Chip with a guard in the center? No, it doesn't work.
Well,
okay,
that's what I said. I said if he's inside,
linebacker, and he drops into coverage. Like, you can't game plan because they move him around because he's so versatile. That's what makes it so difficult, is you can't just say, he's going to be at D end, Chip on the way out. Unless you say, Aaron, all right, find number 5, ready, break.
But wait though. That's why I said if he goes inside, you're not going to do that. But if you have a tight end there, the tackle can help the guard with him inside, and the tight end can take the edge rusher who's not going to be as good as Kayvon. So, I'm just saying, don't make it one-on-one, because one-on-one is just one-on-done, because he's going to win every time.
Well, certainly Kayvon Thibodeau, very dominant. You just wonder what would happen in that Oregon-Stanford game if he doesn't get the targeting call. He can close things out those final couple of plays. But to that versatility point, that was the number one thing he talked about during media day underneath this DeRuyter defense, is that he's going to be all over the place. And how poetic is it that against DeRuyter's former team, Cal, it's a Kayvon Thibodeau disguising himself all throughout the defensive line to give Cal fits. All right, don't go anywhere. When we come back on Talkin Ducks, Anthony Brown, did he do enough to keep the fans at Oregon happy? Not that that's what we care about, but the Boo Birds came out, and we've got some strong words for the fans from Ryan Walk. Don't miss it when we come back on Talkin Ducks.
Parr Lumber is committed to providing the best customer service. We provide personal service. We're problem solvers. We're positive and courteous. We're competent and professional. We are committed to delivering exceptional service every time. We're appreciative and we care. We are Parr Lumber.
Hi there, it's Les Schwab Tires, reminding you that changing seasons can mean changing road conditions. Introducing the brand new Backcountry AT2 for a quieter ride with improved performance in wet conditions. Because when it comes to keeping your family safe, the right tires help you feel prepared for anything. Seriously, anything. Now save up to $130 when you buy Quad-Track tires with financing. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
In the heart of the South Willamette Valley, just 12 miles southwest of Eugene, distinctive handcrafted wines are waiting for you at Sylvan Ridge Winery. Sylvan Ridge Wines bring unassuming, casual elegance to your homes, tables, and celebrations, and are best paired with the mainstays of a social gathering: good food, fond friends, and lively conversation. Discover our wines by visiting our tasting room. For a list of events or to plan your visit, go to sylvanridge.com. Proud partners of the Oregon Ducks.
Since 1961, Comfort Flow Heating has provided service to more than 50,000 homes and businesses in the Willamette Valley. While the technology and techniques in our industry have changed, our founding principles have remained the same: to provide exceptional service in all areas of our business and for our customers to enjoy their products from us and be comfortable for years to come.
From all of us at Comfort Flow, thank you for choosing us.
Go Ducks! Stories tell us that great leaders are anointed at birth, chosen by the hand of fate. But those are just stories.
You're watching Talkin Ducks, built by Parr Lumber. Great to see you again. It's time for our Thing of Beauty presented by Dr. Lee B. Daniel and Aesthetic Plastic Surgery. Live beautiful. And how about this dart from Anthony Brown to Jalen Redd for a clutch touchdown? Nice throw, nice catch. Good to see the Ducks stretch the field a little bit. And Joey, what did you make about this throw? Because I think for a lot of fans, we haven't seen a lot of this in the Oregon offense this year, hitting these seams on these deep throws, and Oregon and Brown able to cash in when they needed it the most.
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of it this year. I was happy to see it. It was a good, I feel like I've kind of been a broken record about being accurate in the mid-range throws. This wasn't a huge fade up the sideline. I'll call this a mid-range throw down the field. But he was accurate. It was perfect. In front of the trailing, nickelback, linebacker, whoever was behind him, and before the safety got in, and he made a great catch. I mean, I think that's part of the frustration is, at least if I'm hearing from all the fans, is we have these talented wide receivers. We've got the Johnny Johnsons and the Jalen Redds and all these guys and the freshmen that are really, ready to break out, and people feel like we can't get the ball to them. I think this week, AB did a really nice job of pushing the ball down the field at times. There was a back shoulder fade up the sideline in front of the student section, a corner route. I believe it was to Jalen Redd again, made that incredible diving catch. They picked their spots, and Anthony was significantly more accurate on those throws. It wasn't a 50% passing game. It was up, help me out here. I believe it was closer to 65% if I'm doing the quick math of what the ending stats were. But he had a much better day throwing the ball down the field, and that's what they need. He's never going to be a dominant. You're never going to see 10 of those throws in the game because that's not the style of offense that Mario wants to play. It's going to be relying on Travis Dye and then having Anthony make those type of throws when needed. And they needed him in the fourth quarter, and he made them.
So despite some of the nice throws that Brown made, there were some boo birds in Autzen Stadium. For more on that, let's get to the hot topic brought to you by Comfort Flow Heating, the HVAC industry leader in Western Oregon since 1961. Here's Ryan Walk, Brown's teammate, his thoughts on the fans with some of their displeasure on Brown.
At the end of the day, it really motivated us. You want to say that you didn't notice it, but I'm not gonna lie to you. We all noticed it. It's you can't sit there and be like, oh, I didn't notice it, because yeah, you noticed it, and it motivated us. We went to AB, the O-line went to AB. We said, hey, we got your back, have our back, and that's what we showed on those last two drives. We got each other's backs. AB's our guy. He's our leader. We're rolling with him, regardless. So I think that's what great teams are made of, when they're willing to go out there and have each other's back and finish a game in the fourth quarter where other teams may have folded.
So Fentress, they're booing the quarterback at Autzen Stadium, and a team that's 4-1 at the moment, now 5-1, ranked number 10 in the nation. I already know your answer, but is this justified from the fan base to be booing your own quarterback in this situation based upon what we've seen this season?
I have always been 100% against booing college athletes unless someone does something egregiously horrific, like a bad sportsmanlike penalty or something like that. That's different. But I remember times in the past, Leaf being booed when the Ducks were struggling a little bit, Burmeister a little bit when he came in for Herbert. These are college kids, man. I don't care if Anthony Brown goes 0 for 28. You don't boo him. He's trying. And memo to fans, you do not care more than the players. The players have his back. You should have all of their backs. That said, I understand some of the frustration because fans are spoiled, right? They've seen such great quarterbacks over the years, from Joey to Clemens to Darren Thomas to Mariota to Herbert, everybody in between. And so they expect more, but that's just not what you have. Support the guy, because if you want to win, you should probably give him as much support as possible. Now, I feel like he played well enough to beat Cal in a 24-17 game. The problem is I think fans know that he might not be playing well enough to beat better teams down the road. But if that's the case, you still don't boo the man. Let the man give his effort as he is. The players are going to support him. The coaches support him. You should support him too. If you don't, you're kind of a fake fan as far as I'm concerned.
And Anthony, he goes 20 for 28, gets this team a win, scores in the fourth quarter when they need to. With all the injuries this team has had this year and a game without their offensive coordinator, they're still 5-1. Right. Still leading the charge in the Pac-12. And, they have an outside chance for the playoff. It depends on what happens if they can pick things up here. But do you feel like Anthony Brown If you take away the response from the fans, if you just look at this in a vacuum, he seems like he fits the mold of what you want from a quarterback on a team that's going to be a dominant defensive team that likes to run the ball. It seems like he's getting the job done as far as what you're expecting from him.
Exactly. I don't know what fans are looking for. And the fans have the right to say what they want to say at games. I mean, they have their right. They have their opinions. But what are you looking for? Like you said, he was 20 of 28. The man ran for 53 yards. Let's take these fans and have them be the defensive coordinator against Oregon's offense. And then how do you defend this guy? How do you stop this guy? Because now you have a quarterback that can run the football. He's bigger than your linebackers. He's 6'5", about 230. Okay, so he's something that you have to deal with. Okay, maybe, yeah, you want the young guy in the game. If I was the defensive coordinator, put the young guy in the game because I know he's inexperienced. I know we're going to come after him. I know he's going to get rattled. We know nothing about him, so let's put him in the game so we can go get him. Anthony Brown's the guy that you want to go with. And when you hear about players talking about their guy, you know, and they hear these boos and they get mad and they go to Anthony Brown and say, hey, we got your back. That gives me the chills. It really does. It talks about team being together, one heartbeat. It's just incredible. And so now Anthony Brown knows, okay, he's playing for the guys on his sideline. He's playing for his teammates because they believe in him. That's all he needs.
One quick thought, Joey, on that, as far as if you take away the reaction from the fans, you look at the numbers, you look at the results on paper for Brown this year, how do you assess him after this 5-1 start?
I would say he's above average. There were some poor games, Stanford being one of them. There were some really good games, Ohio State being one of those. And there's been some kind of in between. I understand the frustration because I have similar frustration in that, 3rd and 13 and he, in the first quarter and throws a drag route. I believe it was a 4th down call or, throws the ball short of the chains again. Like those things are frustrating. I get it. But for what Oregon is and what they're asking him to do, I would say he's doing an above average job. And this week against Cal, 20 for 28, over 200 yards passing, a clutch touchdown at the end. I would say he had a pretty dang good game, right? They're not asking him to go out and throw for 300. They're not asking him to throw the ball 45 times. He needed to be accurate. He needed to push the ball down the field at times when he had it, and he needed to run the offense, and that's what they did. I don't know. I personally have a hard time with all of the booing. I don't know. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it here. Aaron said his piece. Anthony said his piece. It makes me question some things. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there and say that Anthony Brown did a nice job against Cal, and he is. I agree with Mario that right now he is the best guy that gives the team the best chance to win.
Well, the good news for the Ducks, they are still in the driver's seat in the conference. When we come back, we'll talk about all the chaos and lots of chaos that ensued in the Pac-12. The Cougars playing well, the Huskies flop, and ASU falling to Utah. We'll give you our thoughts when we come back on Talkin Ducks.
Sure glad we went to Les Schwab.
I'm glad the baby's still happy.
Well, I'm just glad that along with tires, Les Schwab also does brakes, alignment, and a bunch of other safety services. I mean, if we had gone to a cheap tire store instead, I'd be a doggone wreck.
My thoughts exactly.
Les Schwab Tires. Proud to be ranked #1 in overall customer satisfaction for aftermarket tire replacement by J.D. Power 2 years in a row.
Being able to get LASIK gave me the opportunity to not worry about putting contacts in every day and just kind of made my life a little easier. Pacific Clear Vision Institute was just incredible through my entire experience. The staff was very welcoming. Dr. Embody, he really just kind of laid it out and made me feel comfortable and gave me confidence to know that I was in good hands. I would definitely recommend Pacific Clear Vision Institute for any sort of laser eye surgery.
You're watching Talkin Ducks, built by Parr Lumber. Well, hop aboard and let's fly around the Pac-12, courtesy of Eugene Airport. Fly easy, fly EUG. Well, guys, we're just 6 games into the season, and already Washington State has won 3 straight conference games. Stanford has lost 2 in a row. Arizona State gets dominated by Utah, and the Huskies, well, they are 2-4, and I don't think too many of us will be shedding a tear about that one. But looking at all the chaos this past weekend, let's start with you, Aaron. What has surprised you the most about the Pac-12, this conference that started the season with 5 teams ranked in the top 25? Now just 1 team, the Oregon Ducks, still remains.
Really nothing. Like, I came into the season feeling like it was going to be the Wild Wild West.
Well, you didn't predict all this happening in 6 weeks, did you?
I'm not saying I predicted every single thing, but I'm saying I never felt like there was a dominant team that was going to come out of this conference. I never felt like Oregon was going to be a playoff contender. Each week, we do picks at the Oregonian. I'm looking at, I'm like, I don't know. I wouldn't bet on it either way on any of these games. You look at Washington State. People wrote them off after they got blown out by USC. They've won 3 straight conference games since. It is the Wild Wild West. Now, a lot of people complain because they say it means the conference is mediocre. Fine, whatever. You did get a win over LSU. The conference did get a win over Ohio State. Regardless, it's entertaining. Each week is a mystery. And for me, who doesn't really care who wins, I love it.
And I think that sums it up right there, Anthony. This is a conference that had wins against LSU and Ohio State, one of those on the road, but also lost to Montana and Utah State. So what do you make of everything that we saw this past weekend?
Well, it's kind of crazy. I mean, if you think about it, you go back to the beginning of the season and you're going to go, who's the power teams in this conference? You're talking about USC, Washington, Utah. They're all doo-doo. They're terrible.
Utah's not bad.
I mean, I mean, USC, they're averaging, 94 yards rushing a game. Are you kidding? USC, the I-back? Are you kidding me? Washington, they can't beat anybody. They can't beat themselves. So it's interesting, but yet, I hate to go back to the past, yet we're booing our quarterback who's led this team that's 5-1. We're 5-1, and we're getting booed. They're getting booed every now and then. Well, the quarterback is. So, but it's been a crazy, crazy year.
Hold on. I'm looking for this like doo-doo. Like, is this? I'm trying to figure out on like a dictionary here. How is this being applied? Right? Is this a scientific football term, or are we? I
don't know if that was used much in the Central Catholic vernacular growing up, Joey.
Doo-doo, just straight doo-doo. I wouldn't disagree with the doo-doo-ness. I somewhat disagree with Aaron in that I think Oregon is the class of the conference. But hold on, I think that's a fair
I never said
statement.
they weren't the class. I said I didn't think they were going to be a playoff team. Go ahead.
Okay, fair. However you want to spin it so that you don't sound, so that people don't get angry.
I picked them to win the conference,
but,
just not to go to the playoffs.
I think that, and I said this last week, I think the rest of the conference is mediocre. I do. People talk about it as, we're just beating up on each other. No, they're just, the rest of the conference is a bunch of really average teams that one week can play really well and another week can, go out and stumble against somebody they should you think they should probably beat. Now, at the end of the season, more than just Oregon will emerge, right? UCLA keeps a run going, Washington State keeps a run going, right? It always happens where one team starts to find their footing. But if you're looking at what truly is going on with this conference, I mean, it's not like there's Georgia and Alabama and Kentucky, or Michigan State, Michigan, Ohio State, Iowa. Like, we don't have 3 or 4 power teams. It's Oregon who is kind of holding the candle, leading the charge for the conference and doing it kind of, yeah, I don't know if it's, you can have a discussion on whether it's going to last. And then it's a bunch of mediocre teams that Anthony likes to call doo-doo.
Mediocre teams, by the way, that have beaten Oregon and pushed Oregon to the edge. 2 of them have already. So
I know. Agreed.
I agree with you guys. This conference at this point, it just looks like a buffet where the food's been out for a little while. From a distance, it looks pretty good. But as soon as you fill your plate with everything, there's nothing that's bad necessarily, but nothing that you're really going to come back for again. So
what
we'll
kind
see
of
if the
buffets are you
conference
going
can step
to,
things
Jordan?
up.
I don't
There's
know.
a huge game this week. Oregon versus UCLA. Mario Cristobal addressed the media on Monday about this matchup down in the Rose Bowl, where game day will be there also. Here's the head coach.
Well, we say that every single week, that the game that we're playing is the most important one because that's the one that we're playing. So that's not going to change. I mean, the opponents change week to week, but the goal and the way we approach it never does. So, and we recognize them and respect them because they are an excellent football team.
Obviously, we've talked about mediocrity with this conference, but here's the chance on the big stage. Oregon, it's rare for them to be visiting a place where game day is there and you've got all that extra hype and attention. I think the last time this happened, Oregon went up to Washington State where the Cougars beat the Ducks in one of their all-time signature wins. This is going to be a very difficult task for Oregon on the road.
I think Oregon's in big trouble based on what we've seen in every game other than Ohio State. You look at the Cal game, you look at the loss to Stanford, you look at the fact that the Arizona game was in doubt sort of in the fourth quarter. UCLA, to me, is better than all three of those teams. They're going to be able to run the ball very well. They're one of the top rushing teams in the conference, and they have a dual-threat kid at quarterback who makes a lot of big plays. They're leading the league, actually, in average yards per pass attempt and per completion. They're not throwing for a high volume of yards, but they're getting a lot of big plays. I think he has 13 touchdown passes and only two interceptions, completing 60% of his passes. So to deal with a guy like that with that running game and with Chip Kelly's mind, that is going to put the Ducks defense on their heels, even with Kayvon, I believe, because I believe Chip is going to come up with a plan to try and keep Kayvon from not completely wrecking his offense. So I think the Ducks are in trouble in this game. Right now, I'm saying that I just think they're going to lose. I mean, I hate to be that guy, but I don't see how they get
We'll
out.
have more on the matchup later. We'll have more on the
Anthony.
matchup later, but it sounds like Chip might do something that Cal didn't do. It might actually chip Kayvon Thibodeau. On that note, when we come back, we'll get to Pac-12 basketball media day, women's and men's. The Oregon Ducks picked second in both women's and men's basketball. We'll recap that real quickly when we come back on Talkin Ducks.
Can we boo Jordan for that joke? Sometimes leadership is scary. But so is regret.
Parr Lumber is committed to providing the best customer service. We provide personal service. We're problem solvers. We're positive and courteous. We're competent and professional. We are committed to delivering exceptional service every time. We're appreciative and we care. We are Parr Lumber.
Hi there, it's Les Schwab Tires, reminding you that changing seasons can mean changing road conditions. Introducing the brand new Backcountry AT2 for a quieter ride with improved performance in wet conditions. Because when it comes to keeping your family safe, the right tires help you feel prepared for anything. Seriously, anything. Now save up to $130 when you buy Quadtrac tires with financing. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
Since 1961, Comfort Flow Heating has provided service to more than 50,000 homes and businesses in the Willamette Valley. While the technology and techniques in our industry have changed, our founding principles have remained the same: to provide exceptional service in all areas of our business and for our customers to enjoy their products from us and be comfortable for years to come.
From all of us at Comfort Flow, thank you for choosing us.
Go Ducks!
You're watching Talkin Ducks, built by Parr Lumber. It's time for some excellence off the field, presented by Ferguson Wellman. Ferguson Wellman, taking a disciplined approach to investing. During Oregon Football Media Day, when we sat down with Anthony Brown, yes, we expected big things on the field, but it was awesome to hear the approach he was taking off the field. Here's Anthony Brown. What are you studying in school? I know it's your 6th year, so maybe you've got like your 5th master's you're working on or something, but what are you studying?
So I'm studying prevention science, Masters of Education right now. I got my undergrad degrees in communication and applied psych and human development. So, shoot, I'm just studying people.
Well, what do you want to do if you weren't playing football right now?
Helping people, honestly, because I didn't come from the greatest of like areas. So even where I grew up in Long Branch, New Jersey and Cliffwood, New Jersey, there were a lot of people or a lot of kids that had so much more talent than I did that didn't make it out. Given the certain resources or lack of resources and just being in positions to where they were pushed towards certain things that I was kept away from. So just getting kids to understand the importance of education and how important it is for your education or how important it's going to be later in life. And not all money is good money. So just getting people to understand that. And understanding that you can be cool and be a nerd at the same time. Trust me, it's a lot of the cool people are nerds right now.
How dare they boo this man, Aaron Fentress? This is the model student athlete right here. Did you hear everything that he just said? He's getting it done on the field, pouring into his community off the field. How dare they? How dare they?
There are a lot of things in life more important than football games and more important.
No, get out of here. It's only football all the time, right?
Listen, I still have guilt from being critical of Jeff Locke and Braxton Burmeister, but that was part of my job to analyze. But I never said anything disrespectful. To me, booing a kid is just the ultimate form of disrespect. And when you see what kind of guy this is, he's stacking degrees like hotcakes. He has plans to do things, great in the community for other people. He's a selfless person. To boo him because he missed a precious 3rd down pass on a football game on Saturday, it's just childish, immature, ignorant, unacceptable.
All right, well, stick around. When we come back, we'll have our 2-minute recruiting update with Matt Prehm of 247 Sports. A huge commitment on the defensive side of the ball for the Ducks. We'll break that down when we come back on Talkin Ducks. You're watching Talkin Ducks, built by Parr Lumber. Welcome back. Time now for our 2-minute drill with 24/7 Sports. And Matt Prehm of Duck Territory joins us once again. And Matt, a huge commitment for the Ducks on the defensive side of the ball, one of the best linebackers in the country. What do we have here?
Yeah, Harrison Taggart from Corner Canyon High School in Utah gave a verbal commitment to the Ducks. He's a 4-star recruit by 24/7 Sports. And the interesting thing with Harrison Taggart is he grew up in a Utah family. Both his parents went there. Very, very deep ties to that school. USC, UCLA also involved with Harrison Taggart. He was at UCLA twice in about a 2 or 3 month span to check out the Bruins, but the Ducks have swooped in and landed his verbal commitment. And this is a player that Oregon kind of likes all over the field, gives them position versatility, which is always a big thing. Oregon is actually talking about maybe having him play a linebacker or potentially even something like what Jamal Hill does as a nickel for Oregon in that defense. So this is a guy that's going to come in and give you some position versatility. And then secondly, he plays for one of the best high schools in the state of Utah. It's a school that has produced multiple Pac-12 players the last couple of seasons. A current former teammate of his is on this year's team, Jackson Powers Johnson, an offensive lineman that's a true freshman that's kind of cracked into the rotation. So Oregon's starting to build a little bit of a pipeline as well into one of the best high schools in the state of Utah.
So the question is, will Harrison Taggart be a better Taggart for Oregon than Willie Taggart was?
I think that the bar is pretty reachable for Harrison to cross that one. But yeah, it's a deal where it's another 4-star recruit, and this is a guy that had a lot of good offers from conferences up and down the country, and he's going to yet again just stay out west. Oregon continues to land the region's best recruits on a consistent basis.
All right, Matt, thanks again for joining us. Don't forget you can sign up for Duck Territory at 24/7 Sports and stay up to date on all the latest news following this Oregon football team. Enjoy the game against UCLA. Should be a good one.
Thanks, guys.
All right, stick around when we come back on Talkin Ducks. We'll have our toast of the week plus our thoughts on what Oregon needs to do if they want to get a victory down in the Rose Bowl.
Stories tell us that great leaders are anointed at birth, chosen by the hand of fate. But those are just stories.
Being able to get LASIK gave me the opportunity to not worry about putting contacts in every day, and just kind of made my life a little easier. Pacific Clear Vision Institute was just incredible through my entire experience. The staff was very welcoming. Dr. Embody, he really just kind of laid it out and made me feel comfortable and gave me confidence to know that I was in good hands. I would definitely recommend Pacific Clear Vision Institute for any sort of laser eye surgery.
Eugene Airport is a proud part of what makes Western Oregon such a unique place to be. With nonstop routes that connect to hundreds of destinations, fly local, fly EUG.
In the heart of the South Willamette Valley, just 12 miles southwest of Eugene, distinctive handcrafted wines are waiting for you at Sylvan Ridge Winery. Sylvan Ridge Wines bring unassuming, casual elegance to your homes, tables, and celebrations, and are best paired with the mainstays of a social gathering: good food, fond friends, and lively conversation. Discover our wines by visiting our tasting room. For a list of events or to plan your visit, go to sylvanridge.com. Proud partners of the Oregon Ducks.
You're watching Talkin Ducks, built by Parr Lumber. Let's have a toast, brought to you by Sylvan Ridge Winery, proud partners of the Oregon Ducks, and former Duck Ruthie Hebard, now a WNBA champion. The Chicago Sky outlast the Phoenix Mercury, Hebard getting her first ever title and making a huge impact on that team. So cheers to Ruthie Hebard. Great to see some of this dominant Oregon women's basketball players having an impact on the next level. Well, big game coming up for the Oregon football team. Let's hit Victory Road, presented by Capital Toyota in Salem. Your way on the Parkway. And Anthony, I know a few segments ago you had a rebuttal, I had to cut you off, but Oregon versus UCLA. Chip Kelly going against his former team in the Ducks. What do you think we might see from the Bruins down in Pasadena, a game where game day will be there, and you know that they might actually get a sellout for once in the Rose Bowl?
Well, yeah. This is going to be a game. I think it's going to depend on what UCLA team shows up. I mean, they're so up and down. But going back to what Aaron said, that Chip Kelly is going to have a plan to stop him. But see, that's why Aaron doesn't understand being a dominant football player, what that is, what that's all about. Like me, Jordan, Joey, dominance. Aaron has no clue. Okay, when you're dominant, they can't stop you.
When you want to go cover me, when you want to come out of the field and try and cover me
I don't
anytime.
care who you chipping,
Let him talk.
who's doing this. Once the number 5 lines up, you're not going to stop him. Now, you may slow him down a little bit, but you're not going to stop him. So there's no plan, Aaron. They don't have a plan. The plan is hope number 5 gets hurt. That's their plan. Other than that, the defense for Oregon is going to create havoc for Chip Kelly. And, so-called Chip Kelly. I don't know. You and Chip Kelly, you got something going on there. That's always been back in the past. But I think Oregon's going to do well.
38-35 was the score last year. Oregon barely won, and UCLA put up 462 yards. I think Kayvon played in that game, but, we'll see what happens.
He's changed. He's different.
Joey, will you interrupt these two, please, and just give us a few more thoughts
So
from
you're
your
picking
perspective
Oregon.
on this
You're
matchup?
picking
Do I need to play mediator here? Okay, is that my role again?
Yeah,
okay,
please do.
Everybody. So here, hold on, up and down. Just wait. Okay, hold on. Okay, I think Kayvon Thibodeau's presence changes the game because he didn't play at Ohio State, and when he did play at Stanford, it was his first. He wasn't the same. He wasn't healthy. He had a few flashes, but he was just coming off injury and was not the player that he was last week against Cal. I think his presence is going to be significant and is going to change the necessity for Oregon's offense, right? Sure, Chip's going to score, but I think that he's going to create havoc. He's going to do the similar things that he did against Cal. And to Anthony's point, it's going to be tough for Chip. Yeah, sure, they'll have a game plan for him, but his versatility is going to make it tough to find him and to truly execute what they want to do. I think that's going to allow Oregon to not have to score as many points. I mean, they're not going to have to score. I don't think they're going to have to score 35 to win this game. And if they do, then I think they may be in a little bit of trouble, right? This is going to be, in my mind, a close game again, a game that's not going to be pretty. It's going to be an ugly win, but it's going to be a close, ugly win that Kayvon Thibodeau has a significant impact for. And let's not overlook Joe Moorhead coming back last week and the performance that Anthony Brown had because of it, right? Last time he went on the road in a big game like this against Ohio State, he and Joe Moorhead had a brilliant game plan and executed it perfectly. He was gone against Stanford, he struggled. Came back against Cal, and you saw that Anthony Brown start to come back. So I think the combination of having AB with Moorhead and having a healthy Thibodeau is going to be enough for Oregon to get another ugly win this week.
And Aaron, let's focus on the Oregon offense because, minus a couple of turnovers in the red zone, this is an offense that looked a lot better. And we've seen Travis Dye really shine when he can be the lead back. What do you expect to see from the Ducks on that side of the ball?
Kayvon had 4 tackles against UCLA last year, no sacks. Anyway, ask your
We're
question.
done with the defense, Aaron.
Anyway,
We're switching to
I
the offense.
throw that out there. What was your
Okay?
question, Joey? Or Jordan, I'm sorry.
The Oregon offense against UCLA, okay? What do you see?
Until I see this team show me that they can score in volume, which a lot of people don't believe they can, and Joey says they're not trying to, then I think we're going to see what we're going to see. I think they're going to have some success here and there, but I think in this type of game against this type of offense, they're going to have to score in the 30s to win. I don't believe they're going to contain UCLA. So the offense is going to have to be more productive, and I think someone's going to have to help Dye as well out of the backfield. I just think this is to me, this is one of those recipes for disaster for the Ducks. Going on the road, your quarterback's inconsistent. You're playing a high-powered offense who's not going to let one guy destroy them, and they have a good quarterback. So Oregon, to me, on offense, is going to have to score in the high 30s to win this game, as they did last year when they won 38-35.
All right, well, it should be a lot of fun. Oregon taking on UCLA in the Rose Bowl. Game day will be there, a huge North versus South matchup. Of course, next week, next Tuesday, we'll wrap that all up on the next edition of Talkin Ducks. But from all of us here, thank you so much again for joining us. Enjoy the game. It'll be a fun one. Aaron, Anthony, you guys, I know you want to chomp at the bit for next week, but save it for next time. We appreciate you guys stopping by. Don't forget to check us out on Twitter at Talkin Ducks Show for all of the updates and clips as we bring you more Oregon athletic content. Take care.
If Ducks lose, I'm not showing up Monday.